Hey there guys, this is Justin and you are watching the WinBarClub, and today I have a 1 vs 1 battle that I played recently in Total War Rome 2. I decided to crack open Total War Rome 2 once again after playing a lot of Warhammer recently because I just love this game. So this 1 vs 1 is going to be me playing as Carthage versus Macedon, and when I hosted this battle, the guy who jumped in asked me for the rules, and I said, no rules, just don't spam anything like artillery. And he stuck to those rules, but as you guys will see, and as you might be able to judge by his army here, he is going to set up... Oh, whoops, accidentally brought up steam there. He's going to set up on this hillside, and he's got hoplites out front. But we're going to go through his army real quickly, since I'm already over here. He's got 3 hoplite units. You can see the 3 of them out front of this V-type formation. Behind them are 3 foot companion units. And here these guys are. Excellent pikemen unit. Very strong unit, except that pikemen are not that great in this game. So really, I think he probably, if he was going to do this, should have gotten cheaper pikemen and more of them. But behind that, he's got 2 thorax swordsmen, I believe 2 of these archers, and a Greek giant ballista. Then he's got 1 more hoplite unit and a shield bearer unit here. There those guys are. So, playing as Macedon, and he is content to sit on this hill, which I was fine with. As you can see, his giant ballista is coming over and doing some damage to some of my men. If we take a look at my army... Oh, whoops. From up here, you can see I've got 2 Libyan hoplites up front. I've got several mercenary scutarii. I believe 3 of them is what I brought out on this flank. I've got a mercenary Iberian swordsman and a mercenary Gallic warrior. And then in the middle, I've got 3 of these mercenary Samnite warriors. Behind them, my only skirmishing component is 2 Libyan peltists. And I've got a standard general's bodyguard. That's it for my infantry, but my cavalry contingent here on the left, I've got a Carthaginian cavalry, and I believe I have 2 of them, one of which is way out on the right flank there, and then I've got 2 of these guys, and these are mercenary Numidian noble cavalry, and this unit is absolutely amazing. They've got several javelin units, but on the left you guys can actually see they've got huge melee attack, huge weapon damage. This is just an all-around beast unit, and I actually brought them because I forgot they were in the game and faced an opponent who used them very effectively. But right off the start here, you can see I discovered these companion cavalry in the woods. Gonna keep an eye on them. But just to give you guys reference, these giant ballista, they are fixed. They can't move. So when I shifted my whole army over to this left flank, now that ballista unit can't really do anything. I think those units are only really worth bringing in a siege battle or in a multi-team, multi-person team battle. Because in a 1v1, it's very easy to just scoot to the side, and there's nothing they can do. So I'm moving all my troops into these woods. I've got a Numidian noble cavalry in these trees, and over here are the Carthaginian cavalry. So the only event that's going to happen for the moment here is these companion cavalry are going into a wedge formation. You can see my army over there in the trees, and they are chasing after my Numidian noble cavalry. And let's see if we can get to a guy who's in the front of this unit. It's not gonna let me. There we go. Right up front. Oh wow, the front guy. So you can see my cavalry is gonna run away and throw some javelins in on these guys to do some hit point damage. And then from over here, here comes my Carthaginian cavalry. Now, in a straight out fight, these companion cavalry will destroy my Carthaginian cavalry. You can see they did decently well on the charge, but I've got this Libyan hoplite coming in, and now I am still skirmishing with these mercenary Numidian noble cavalry, and now that he has kind of botched this charge here, I'm going to go ahead and commit these guys in melee. These companion cavalry are not that good in a melee without the charge, and these mercenary Numidian noble cavalry are going to start cutting them down. You can see I've lost no one, and this unit is starting to drop in number heavily, even though they did do a good amount of damage to my Carthaginian cavalry. But in a straight-up melee without the charge, the mercenary Numidian cavalry are going to beat the companion cavalry. And that is what we have going on here. So take a look at this combat up close. Look at this guy here just chilling out. Yeah, these guys are just kind of wandering around. They're not... There we go. Now someone's attacking the other dude. But that unit, combined with the fact that I've got these Libyan hoplites right behind, they are going to rout, and that's the end of those companion cavalry. They did do some good damage to my Carthaginian cavalry, but overall that unit did not pay for itself. And you can see my army now is nice and set up here. I'm not going to be moving these Numidian noble cavalry for a while because that giant ballista can be looking at them, so I really shouldn't have put them in those woods. And this Carthaginian cavalry is in the same boat, though they could escape this way rather quickly without taking too much damage. So you can see my opponent here is starting to realize that he's getting flanked, and he's filling in this box, bringing these archers over. So for the moment, there's quite a bit of battle left and quite a bit of time before that happens, so we are going to skip forward. Okay, so here we are. Oh, whoops, hitting the wrong keys there already. But you can see I've got this Libyan hoplite now moved up. They are in phalanx just for the extra shield strength that it provides. It's not going to help too much, but my opponent is actually firing his archers at these guys, and these guys are no longer really that useful to me, other than for a purpose exactly like this. I don't know that there's any cavalry left. I've got my Carthaginian cavalry exploring these woods, and with them being clear, it would seem to me that my opponent had only that single companion cavalry unit, which makes sense with how expensive these foot companions and the rest of his army are. This Greek giant ballista is not a cheap unit either. And as you can see, these guys, they actually did some damage. They got 72 kills pretty quickly there, but my army is rather large and still very intact. So over here, these archers are coming forward, and I'm going to move up with this beat-up Carthaginian cavalry just to kind of push them back. They were trying to take shots at my Numidian noble cavalry. I've got my Libyan peltists firing into this unit of foot companions, and I have moved up my mercenary Gallic warriors as well to throw their pilum into this. And so now you can see my opponent is going to respond with a thorax swordsman, which I don't have time to get this unit out of the way, so my Gallic warriors are going to have to fight this thorax swordsman head on. I'm going to back them up with a mercenary Samnite warrior and shift these units over and out of the way. Now, I don't expect these foot companions to be overly aggressive, so I'm going to end up shifting the Libyan hoplites up to get onto the flank of these mercenary Gallic warriors and try to do some morale damage. And you can see my opponent's using flaming shot on my men, but they're in the woods and it's not going to do that much. Over here, I'm starting to move troops up, and once again, I'm just going to start throwing the javelins into the foot companions and try to whittle down his pikes. So we've got this bloody combat going on here, and in the back, you can see these Libyan hoplites coming in to fight these thorax swordsmen, and their morale is going to plummet here. This unit is not super supported. Now at this point, these foot companions are going to move up, and they are moving in to engage. They are going to do a lot of damage to these Libyan hoplites who have no armor and are not facing the foot companions. And as far as pikes go, foot companions are a very good unit, but at this point, my thorax swords, or their thorax swords, have routed, and that foot companion moving up allowed me to bring in this mercenary Iberian swordsman, a really light unit but very fast, right into that gap and behind them where their pikes will do them no good. So that unit is going to get eaten alive there. These mercenary Iberian swordsmen did take some heavy damage from archer fire earlier though. And now I'm going to take this chance and charge up the hill with these units that were already engaged. They're going to start fighting these hoplites where there's no pikes, because I'm going to have to engage this enemy line somewhere and try to crack it. Elsewhere, you can see my units throwing their javelins still at these foot companions, doing some damage. And over here, I'm moving my cavalry around. This is another weak side where there are no pikes. He only had 3 pike units. Here you can see the other one. And again, my mercenary Scutarii here were throwing their pikes into those foot companions. But from overhead, you can see I'm starting to get this guy surrounded. I'm engaged here, but I'm not throwing too much into it because I need to hold his other units in place. And although this is going to be a very slow fight right here, eventually these hoplites will break. Though they are doing some good damage. And they are going to get a lot of kills. This unit's going to do the best out of, I think, most of his units. And it's because they're going to hold for a very long time right here in this fight. Now you can see, this is a unit I actually forgot to list earlier. I've got a mercenary noble fighter. And I was trying to bring them over. They're going to get caught a little bit here. Really, I probably could have kept them engaged on this flank like this and mopped up these foot companions. But I am going to bring them out of this over here to where they can start throwing their javelins into this foot companion unit from the front. You can see these pikes doing a good job from the front, keeping these guys out, this mercenary noble fighter. So at this point, I'm going to pull these guys away. And over here, I've got this Libyan hoplite just trying to hold some men down, do some work on the other flank of the foot companion. Those thorax swordsmen, though, are going to be more than a match for my Libyan hoplites. And I do have a mercenary Scutarii in here, but again, the thorax swordsmen should beat them. Over here, my mercenary Numidian noble cavalry throwing some javelins into these archers. Probably not the best target for me, but I guess I did not notice that that's what I was targeting. And those archers are going to start to rout. And over here, I've got these Libyan peltists. And they are going to start firing. Let's see, where do I have them ordered? Right now, they are not on fire at will. Yep, so here they go. They're going to start throwing at this foot companion, trying to whittle these guys down a little bit more. And then these mercenary Scutarii are moving back up again. Here you can see I took this Carthaginian cavalry, did a wedge charge into these hoplites to try to do some damage. It's going to draw out these shield bearers, my bad. Got 0 kills on that charge, so really wasn't worth it. And over here, I've got units, mercenary Samnite warriors, crashing in on the flanks of these pikemen. And I actually went ahead and just charged right up the center with the mercenary noble fighters, because I had these pikes so whittled down, they're down to 27 men, that I believed I could break the formation and just start cutting right through them, and that's what you're seeing here. These guys fighting it out, and this man is no longer a match without his pike. Got a guy getting stabbed there. I'm pretty sure this guy's going to go down here soon. Actually, he's holding out rather well. Is he going to run away? He can't get away from this. Someone kill him. Come on now. Man, that guy does not want to die. Oh, there he went. In a nice long combat animation. And you can see over here, doing a hefty charge with my mercenary Numidian cavalry. They're going to punch through this thin hoplite wall. Over on this flank, these hoplites are up to 113 kills, still holding out against my men. I'm now throwing in these Libyan peltists and doing charges with my general's bodyguard. I was trying to sneak through a gap there, and here comes a devastating charge in the back by these Carthaginian cavalry who have punched through, and that is going to start to rout this hoplite unit and help me bust through this flank. Over here, these hoplites are just getting overwhelmed. Mercenary Numidian or noble fighters, so many units in this battle, I'm getting them mixed up, are going to make short work of hoplites. Over here, the swarm is just going through these thorax swords, not standing much of a chance. Still a hoplite unit holding out over here, but at this point, if we look from above, I have broken through almost all around aside from this unit. And if we take a look at them, they've got cavalry in their back. And that is pretty much going to be it for this battle. So, good game to my opponent. Thank you for not spamming. He still went ahead and did. Let's watch from these guys' point of view. These archers are about to get mopped up. Here comes those mercenary Numidian noble cavalry. Oh, that poor guy getting absolutely plowed down there. And that is a good way to end that battle. So once again, good game to my opponent. Crazy mixer here. Thank you for not spamming artillery, I guess. Your pike box. I would recommend next time using more cheaper pikes so that you have a bigger box. Or at least more lines in your box. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed that. Not the craziest of battles, but I'll be playing some more Rome soon. And I'm sorry for the slight delay in putting up videos. I've had a crazy 2 weeks at work. But once again, thank you guys for watching. No Man's Sky is coming out this week. Don't know how many of you are interested in that, but I will be posting some footage of that to see if you guys like it. So keep an eye out. Thanks for watching.